where software quality lives, breathes, and keeps evolving.
Welcome back to the Quality Beat. I'm your host, Gurpreet Badesh, and today's episode is Boosting Testing Efficiency, where we're tackling every tech team's favourite riddle: how to build better, ship faster, and still afford coffee. It's not just about testing faster, it's about testing smarter. And teams are being asked to support faster delivery, leaner processes, and greater reliability, all while keeping complexity and costs in check. So how do we break the old trade-off between speed, cost, and quality? And what does innovation in quality assurance look like beyond just more automation? To dig into the real-world answers, I'm joined by Daniel Eder, Nagarro's co-head of training and client learning. And together we'll explore how forward-thinking teams rethink quality assurance, leveraging new tools and shifting mindsets to drive true quality efficiency. So welcome to the show, Daniel.
Thanks, Gurpreet. It's great to be back again. I still remember joining you for one episode, or like the first episode of The Power of Agile. And I love that we're back here now making that new journey toward how quality could be involved in all of it.
Certainly. And that conversation still sticks with me today as well. So, by the way, for our listeners, if you haven't heard of The Power of Agile, it's another podcast that's hosted by Nagarro. And I had the chance to host a few episodes there, including the one that me and Daniel are referring to now. So you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or right on the Nagarro website. It's definitely worth a listen to, and great that we can connect the dots now as agility and quality go hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's how you said it earlier. It's not about speed alone. What's really shifting is how we define smart QA these days, how we move from just testing faster to testing with purpose, with insight, and with system thinking applied. So lately I've been thinking about it like this. In the past, quality used to be a phase. Now it's a pulse constantly running through the entire system. And if it's missing, everything just going to flatline. And I think that's the shift I would like us to dig into today.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be going into detail. And I love that metaphor, Daniel, the idea of quality being a constant pulse or beat. So before we get stuck into the details, tell me, what makes your quality pulse race?
Okay, well, what makes my quality pulse race? Honestly, it's watching how fast the definition of quality is evolving today. Through my work in the quality efficiency area that I did a lot of lately, I've been seeing massive shifts going on. So like I mentioned, from testing as a phase, we understand quality now as a continuous system. We're moving from manual checkpoints to AI augmented insight. And what really excites me is that we're no longer just automating tests. We're architecting trust in the software we're creating. So we're building pipelines where every commit, every deployment, every signal feeds into smarter and faster feedback loops. And when a team starts thinking that way, when quality becomes a strategic driver, not just a gatekeeper, that's when the whole pulse and also my pulse takes up. So we turn quality assurance into quality engineering. And that's what keeps me hooked at the moment.
I think you're spot on with that when you mentioned that we're re-architecting trust. And with that in mind now, tell me, why does quality efficiency matter now more than ever? What does it mean in today's world?
Yeah, you see, I think that is because teams are more and more burned out chasing speed, and they're still not delivering better.
Okay.
I worked with a company last year pushing for weekly releases. They automated everything, like full end-to-end pipelines. But still they missed defects, and they missed quite a lot of defects, and still that caused them to leak confidence. And that's when something clicked for them and for me, which is you can't automate your way out of the bad thinking that you do. So it's not only about moving faster, it's about finding ways to move smarter and to trust every step in your pipeline again. And, re-architect the trust from there.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying is that because speed is emphasized so much, the defects are being missed, and so it's not really going hand in hand at the moment.
Yeah, right. If you're the saying, if you automate crap,
Yeah.
You just get crap faster. And that's what very often happening, especially in the quality efficiency side. We're so focused on automating that we forget to think if we're automating the right things and if we're approaching it with the right ideas in mind.
And that's what you mean when you say it's about moving smarter.
Yes.
Yep.
It's about not just spinning the wheel faster, but it's about taking a step back and think what we're doing here and what we want to achieve. And are we doing it, but just going faster?
Right. Okay. And how would you say then the definition of quality has evolved given the rise of agile, DevOps, and continuous delivery?
Yeah, of course. So quality always has been about, did it break? Does it still work? Can we find flaws in the system?
Right.
Now with agile and DevOps and continuous delivery, we are moving to a more stream of work than batch of work mindset. So now it's about not did it break, did the system break?
Yeah.
But can we trust the system? Can we trust it to do the job that we designed it to do? Can we scale it? Or even can we sleep well at night knowing that there might be hundreds of deployments while we sleep?
Right.
So in companies that have kind of embraced this DevOps and agile ideas, quality is no longer just the gate that you have to go through to go to production, but it's more turning into a guiding signal or beacon that's kind of pulsing and showing you, are we on the right track? And my metaphor is to think of it like it's the oxygen in a space shuttle. If it's not flowing through everything, you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what you're saying here is that it's not so much like a checkbox that you tick now. It's this ongoing continuous improvement type of mindset that you should have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Nicely summarized. This is what I have in mind there.
Great. Okay. And so people normally equate quality efficiency with just speeding up quality assurance, right? Why would you say that's a limited view? Obviously, we briefly touched on it, but
yeah, let's explore that a bit deeper. Simply put, it's because speed alone is cheap. You can do fast and dirty, or you can do slow and expensive, right? But today, teams that win are not the ones that get fast there, but the ones that get fast, efficient, and effective. So I've seen organizations celebrate shaving off days in their test cycle. Like we increased it from 14 days to 10 days. But the customers still see the bugs, see the flaws, and get the bad experience. Then that's not quality.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's just velocity spinning without control. Efficiency is about more than speed. It's about identifying strategic flow, understanding the visibility of your risks, getting smart feedback loops, and eventually building confidence in every commit of code that you do. Speed without insight is just crashing faster.
Yes. So what you're saying is that it's like speeding in a car with your eyes closed. And so whilst you have that thrill at first, it's almost like a disaster waiting to happen. And so where do you see most organizations getting stuck in improving quality? And the reason why I ask this is because I'm really looking to understand if this is more of a tech glitch or we did it like this for decades type of glitch.
I think it's the latter one because the technology is there. If you take a look at how quickly just everything moved in the tech space in the last 2 or 3 years. We had static code analysis before. We have continuous integration and continuous deployment systems for decades now. And now we can also amplify that with AI, automated reasoning, root cause analysis. So I think anybody who's not leveraging that, that's just a mindset issue to define. It's this quality hasn't been defined that way before. And while technology moves fast, people's brains move much, much slower. And we have to become accustomed to these new models. And also we have to find our way around using them in a good way. So I'd say we have always done this the last decades this way. So we continue doing it because we know it works. While the whole world is moving on. Yeah.
It sounds like it's like you need to redefine a way of working. And like you mentioned, we've got so many different technologies which are moving at such a quick pace. it sounds to me as though people might also not know where to begin with this. It may come across a bit overwhelming. I mean, how would you say the technologies, whether that is AI related automation or low code platforms, how would you say they're reshaping quality strategies?
Yeah, I think there are some key pillars there. Like the first one is it's about scaling the thinking, not just the effort. So we have to bring in all these technologies to shift from the reactive testing view, where we wait for development to give us something to test and to make sure it works. And if it doesn't, we hand it back.
Yeah.
We have to move to thinking of it as a predictive quality to what I would call insight-driven QA, to look forward, see the trends in the data, and not just wait for being prompted to check the quality. And we can use AI very well for that today. Current AI systems empower engineers to act on risks or preemptively act on risks and find them, and not just go there and run some scripts and see if anything breaks.
Yeah. Okay. And do you have any particular examples where you've seen this in action?
Oh, yes, I do. So at Nagarro, we spent quite a lot of time the last years into researching how we could go there. And I would like to highlight maybe two of these results. So one of them is what we call a quality copilot. And the idea behind that is that we use artificial intelligence to augment the quality engineer basically in real time.
Okay.
So it's not a tool that will automate the quality engineers away, but it's a tool that if you give it into people who know, the hands of people who know what they're doing, it will make the process so much easier for them because it lets them focus on like the conceptualizing part and strips away the repetitive work.
Okay.
So like it's about offering context-aware prompting, intelligent prioritizations, and also kind of having that coding buddy that helps you to find the right test strategy in a more interactive way. So the idea is that you have this human augmentation that enables faster and more strategic decision-making, because we don't hire quality engineers to type, but we hire quality engineers to think about how to approach the problems and how to solve them. So that's the one part. The other part that we see has a lot to do about visualization and understanding the issues quickly. Our research in that area ended up in a suite that we call Squid.
Okay.
And it's a suite that allows you to cluster failures across multiple test cycles and environments to figure out what's the most likely root cause. So, you know, when you take a look at, I don't know, release test reports and you have hundreds of failures, and if you would go through them one by one, then you can, of course, manually figure out, like, there's the common root cause because there was a bug introduced and that now breaks down the whole system. But the idea is that we can automate that part away through, you know, having the AI work through the log files and the execution logs, and highlight the root causes much quicker than we as humans can do. And that just reduces that fatigue that you get when you spend days and days of sifting through log files.
Yeah, exactly.
So we turn QA chaos into pattern recognition and single clarity with that. And then the intelligent quality engineer comes in, takes a look and understands what's going on.
Definitely sounds like a better use of time from a quality engineer's perspective as well.
Yeah, we don't hire smart people to do dull work. We hire smart people to do smart things. So I'd say overall, it's about not just writing more tests, but it's about building systems that can help us think or even think with us. And that we get into that insert first QA thinking that then enables us to take a smarter look at releases, cleaner pipelines and more confident delivery, and integrating like technology in these areas. I think that's a good starting point.
Absolutely. It sounds like you're using these new technologies, you know, whether that's AI, for example, to address the routine tasks, right? So it's just supplementing.
Yes, that's the idea. That's what we call keeping the human in the loop, or human augmentation. It is about, you know, taking the cognitive load away for people to get to the core of our work much quicker.
And maybe that's where people get stuck. It could be that they feel like AI has to take over altogether, and maybe they kind of overthink it. But I think this is a good balance that you've struck.
Yeah, I like how you pointed out. Yes, people very often think too much about how can we use AI to get rid of developers and quality engineers. But I don't think that's the right approach, at least not for the next 5 to 10 years. But it's about how can we help people get more productive through using these tools. That's what we can do right now, by the way.
Yeah, that's the best way to take advantage of the technologies that we've got out there. Moving on then, what's one outdated QA myth you'd love to kill off forever?
I think I repeatedly said that already, which is the biggest myth that I still find everywhere I go. Everybody still thinks, not everybody, but the less enlightened ones would think QA is about finding bugs, proving the developer wrong, proving the developer screwed up somewhere, or the requirements engineer made a mistake. But that's not it. It's about establishing trust in the system. And with the system, I don't only mean the software, but the whole ecosystem of people who work to create these amazing products, and to build trust with the customer. That's what it is about. So the strongest QA organizations, they don't just test, they influence. They give product teams confidence to make bold moves, to try new things, to experiment, because they know that whatever they do, there are strong foundations below that and they will hold up. So QA isn't the gate at the end, but it's the anchor that keeps my velocity highly aligned. It's the one thing, the guardrails that allow me to speed up on the highway.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. And going on to the more forward-looking approach then, where do you see the biggest opportunities for innovation in QA over, let's say, the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I think I touched on that as well. Yeah. I think it's about stepping into the intelligence era. Most people have the QA process straight enough. So using AI, predictive analytics, to turn quality teams into strategic forecasters. We're seeing these tools. They don't just run the tests. They even design them, they adapt them, they prioritize based on real risks, given that I feed them the right data. And that's not just getting faster. As we mentioned, that's about getting smarter, getting leaner, more aligned with the business outcomes.
Absolutely.
But also there's, and you touched on that beautifully, there's low code and no code platforms that are breaking down skill barriers.
Yeah.
So suddenly we see analysts and product people who are also able to build and run automated tests. And that's kind of democratizing quality and speeding up the feedback loops. Continuous testing is becoming a default. And as I said before, QA is no longer just a face. It's a pulse that we embed into every commit, every pipeline, every release. Infrastructure is spun up as code, tests run autonomously, and signals from production feed directly back into our improvement. What does it mean for a QA role itself? It's evolving, and it's evolving fast. Testers are becoming quality engineers. They turn into coaches and even more system-level strategic thinkers. They're no longer there to find bugs, but they're there to build trust, to enable faster delivery, support innovation, and even with low-code platforms, coach others into finding quality the right way.
Yeah.
So if you're going to ask me where innovation is happening, I'd say it's here. It's AI bringing precision, low-code bringing inclusivity, continuous QA bringing velocity, and changing QA roles bring strategy. The next wave of innovation is just not about better tools. It's about turning QA into a force of confidence, continuous, embedded, and just still beautifully human.
I think that's a great way of looking at it as well, how you've got so many different technologies and how they bring different elements. And it's like, if you can combine that together, the end result could be great. So if, let's say, for example, if a team wants to test smarter starting tomorrow, what would you say the first thing is that they should reevaluate? Yeah,
start asking the big questions. Where are we wasting effort? Which part of our process feels heavy, feels slow, is fragile? It's really about the testing anymore. It's about testing better with insight, precision, the right kind of support. And once you answer questions, embrace change.
Yeah.
Enhance your engineers instead of overloading them. Don't just go there and automate only the execution. Automate decision points, feedback loops, reporting. And yeah, sometimes that means reducing your test portfolio and not just adding on to it.
Yeah.
Smarter QA isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things, but with clarity, focus, confidence, and continuous adaptation.
Yeah. And that sounds to me all like what we mentioned earlier. It's about redefining a new way of working, right? And looking at things differently. So by the sounds of it, quality teams need to be less over-caffeinated scribblers and more focused strategic, which is maybe why coffee remains non-negotiable in this case. So let's move on then. Finally, let's go to the Mythbuster round then. So I will just give you a quick fire of questions and you can give me a very short answer on what your opinion is here.
As short as I can.
As short as you can, yeah. So first of all, isn't this just automation?
Oh no. It's about holistic process transformation with automation embedded and not isolated, approaching quality from a different angle and ongoing refinement.
So it's really an ongoing process. Okay. Second, will this disrupt any sort of vendor setup?
Not really. At least not if you work with us, because we aim for a smooth transition and we really like that risk-benefit sharing idea to reduce barriers. So we want to enhance and improve a setup, make you more efficient, effective with new ideas and approaches. And the idea is that if you win, we win and we grow as partners. We're not there to disrupt, and you shouldn't disrupt.
We do like win-win situations. And finally then, how fast can we see impact?
Many clients, or most clients that I worked with, they've seen measurable gains in 3 months. Like we start out with 1 month of kind of efficiency gain analysis to figure out which path forward is the most promising for you, which ideas can work. And then we build a way forward together. So we want to move quickly, want to bring measurable improvement to the ground quickly. And if you're not seeing any improvement in 3 months, then we have to reevaluate.
Okay. It's really tailored to the client's needs then.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And that concludes this episode. So Daniel, thank you so much for sharing some of these incredible insights.
Well, thank you for hosting me again. It was a pleasure to be on here with you again and explore some new ideas.
Absolutely. And for our listeners out there, if you want to cut costs, accelerate releases, or want to achieve any other measurable returns, reach out to us and book a free consultation with one of our experts. And you can do this by going over to go.nagarro.com/quality-beat and submit any queries or questions you might have. Our next episode will focus on optimization in quality engineering, so stay tuned.